HCAM News is supported by our viewers and by Hopkinton Drug, located in this historic New England town since 1954. They are a multifaceted store dedicated to providing clients with an array of healthcare options.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's edition of HCAM News. I'm HCAM News Director Tom Nappy, here to fill you in with what's happening in Hopkinton. On today's edition of HCAM News, the Trail Management Committee, with the help of the Hopkinton Public Library, hosted the Trail Explorers event. Contested candidates in this year's town election debate and the latest Hiller Sports Report. But first, the Hopkinton annual town meeting took place last week. The 2023 Hopkinton annual town meeting took place on May 1st and May 2nd this year. On night one, the DPW articles were moved to the front of the agenda to accommodate DPW Director John Westerling. All 7 articles would pass after a bit of debate about Lake Maspinock dam repairs.
Of anything to acquire, gift, purchase, or take by eminent domain, although we gave permission for them to use the property to repair the dam.
Your rights haven't changed. All town meeting is doing, that we have to do by statute whenever we acquire an interest by land as the town, is to get an authorization from town meeting to negotiate the terms with you. So town staff still would have to negotiate the terms of the gift agreement or the terms of the easement. We can't come onto your property until you agree to that.
Article 5, the 2024 town budget of $113,277,232 passed with little debate.
On the expense side, Hopkinton's outstanding public schools are by far the largest slice of the spending picture. In addition to the direct segments shown for education, the majority of amounts for benefits and insurance and debt payments directly support education.
Article 17 called for the redesign of the second fire station in Woodville and passed a standing vote by an overwhelming majority after a bit of debate.
The article provides $70,000 to support architectural and engineering design for a new second fire station in the Woodville neighborhood. If successful, there will be additional costs proposed for actual construction in future years. The funding would be obtained through general obligation borrowing, also requiring citizen vote, allowing principal and interest to be excluded from the taxation limits imposed by Proposition 2.5.
Perhaps the most controversial article of night one was Article 19, Hopkins School Edition.
Has anyone looked at just keeping Elmwood School open for, we're going to build a kind of a replacement. Why not keep that building? It's got a lot of students in it.
What we are looking at is that really is a end-of-life replacement. So while you can house students, you can't house them for the true academic needs. When we looked at the district-wide study, which does look at all schools, one of the things that was passed on to the Permanent Building Committee as they're looking at the Elmwood School in the future is the potential of moving the preschool program over to the Elmwood School, because the Marathon School will also be projected to need more space. So one of the things that we would need to do or look at, which will require further study, is what if we relocated the preschool over to the Elmwood School.
The article calling for $3 million for the project passed a standing vote, 275 to 65. Night 2 was a bit more controversial. The night started off with Article 26, which called for parking spaces for electric vehicles.
I'm just curious, at 5 parking spaces, you start needing to have handicap spaces. So that brings you down to 4 usable spaces, non-handicap. This would affect someone with 5 spaces and possibly bring them down to 3, especially with the ADA requirements for the extra space. So I'm just wondering, have you considered that? Was that part of the discussion? what came out of it.
Yeah, Gary Trundle from the Planning Board. I don't think there's a perfect number solution here. There's a reason that we exempt parking lots that are less than 5 for those reasons, because it's just not feasible. Again, these are EV ready is an option. There are other ways to meet this requirement besides mandatory EV spots. And certainly if this were to be a problem, then it is possible that non-EV cars could park in that spot depending on the landowner's policy and standards.
The article passed the 2/3 majority. Article 28 called for a zoning district change of 2 West Elm Street and 0 West Elm Street.
The church is closing and the property will go up for sale. Under residential B zoning, the best use is to build houses on this property. It is not an ideal residential location given the proximity to the heavy traffic and lights on West Main.
I think based on what we did yesterday to try to increase affordable housing, this might be an opportunity for a creative and community-minded developer to put some housing in there that would help us provide affordable housing and maintain the character and the safety and the wishes of the residential community.
The article would fail. Article 29 called for a zoning district change of South Street and Hayward Street. Town meeting voted to go against the recommended no action and vote on the article.
And echo out and have a chance to be able to make change in this great community. And I think that change is what we're asking for, is to be consulted and to be able to stand before our peers and be able to effectively weigh in how we want to see this land rezoned. But effectively, with 40% of all commercial property not occupied along Hayward and South, I think we're all unanimously in agreement that this article should not pass. And absent the visual aids that we labored over, which will now live in myth and memory, we thank you for your consideration.
The article would fail. Article 32, which called for more strict leash laws for dogs, raised controversy.
It's going to be a similar area. What is a similar area? I mean, that could be the beach. It could be, what are we talking here? Similar area. I mean, that kind of opens up a pretty wide open area.
The article would fail with 208 voting no and 185 voting yes. Article 33, which called for regulating short-term rentals of residential property, raised a lot of controversy.
Someone's right to make this house an Airbnb affected my neighborhood and my life. I don't think that someone's ability to make their house an Airbnb and charge someone to stay there gives you the right to upset my quality of life and everyone else on the street.
I feel this is very intrusive. I can see myself helping a friend who's stuck between, one house or another house or one rental, another rental, needing a place to stay, even my son, and I would have to get a license for a couple of weeks to rent out a room in my home. I feel this is extremely intrusive.
The article would fail the required majority vote. Article 34 was a citizen petition to regulate outdoor shooting at gun clubs in town.
Sitting outside to drink your coffee or going for a walk on a nice day is impossible to enjoy. Noise pollution is detrimental for people's mental and physical health, besides harming the environment. People cannot rest properly with this kind of noise invasion. Think about our young children, animals, and birds.
There has been case law, 2013, Northborough, Wayland, and Braintree were in the same situation, same predicament. Wayland and Braintree withheld their decision until the Northborough town meeting happened. Northborough voted to go forward with that. The Attorney General overturned that based on the fact that we are exempt as an active shooting range. We are exempt per Mass General Law 274, Section 7B from the noise ordinances. So I will say to the townspeople, even if we vote for this to be approved, it's going to be overturned at the state attorney general level.
The article failed the majority. To wrap up the annual town meeting, Article 47, which eliminated the Upper Charles Trail Committee and established a subcommittee, had a lot of feedback.
Before they had received the grant application, there was another meeting, again, overwhelming opposition. They proceeded to accept the grant and are now spending it. This is a waste, I'm afraid, of taxpayer money that would only lead to a route that the public does not want.
The article would eventually pass a standing vote, 158 to 61. You can read a full summary of the 2023 Hopkinton Annual Town Meeting at our website, hcam.tv. This year's Hopkinton Annual Town Election features one contested race, that being the 2 open seats for the 3-year school committee position. HCAM teamed up with Hop News recently to host the contested races debates. Here's a look. Susan, in your candidate statement, you write, quote, "I am opposed to censorship and to political interference in school curricula. While this may not be a problem currently in Massachusetts, we need to be watchful of the situation on the national level." Can you explain further what is meant by this statement?
When we watch the news, we see things coming into curriculum or being removed curriculum, not based on whether it's a good educational decision, whether it's good for the student, if it will be helpful for the student in the future. I believe many of those things that are being generated are purely political. Politics has no place in a classroom. Qualified educators, certified, trained, studied, sit and make these decisions, and just as we trust a doctor to make the correct diagnosis and present a remedy, so too education must be. I am just personally sitting back and watching that and a little concerned about it. I don't know as much of that will interfere with Massachusetts.
Okay.
Adam, in addition to running for school committee, you are also on the Board of Assessors?
Correct.
And serving on 2 board positions is a big time commitment. How do you plan to prioritize the Board of Assessors with your school committee position if you are elected?
Sure, thank you. So yes, I'm a firm believer that if you love what you do, then it's never work. I've already discussed a lot of this with my family, the logistics of the meetings, the time commitment that it's going to take to this. I've really considered what my work-life balance is going to be, and my family and my friends and really my community at large has been very supportive of that. So again, I love being engaged, and teaching and education is my passion. So it's really, for me, it's never work.
Ashley, in your candidate statement, you write, quote, "I think the school committee works best when we have different points of view. We should have the willingness to ask the hard questions, but also communicate and listen with respect while working towards the common goal of doing what is best for our students and families." Can you please explain further what is meant by this statement?
Sure. I think I'm ready for the rebuttals. But I think that I think as Susan highlighted in Meet the Candidates, that most of the sitting school committee members are registered Democrats, other than Amanda. Actually, Amanda is unenrolled as currently that I know. But and I think that it's good when we all come from different points of view and we all different kinds of upbringing and backgrounds, and can bring different things to the table. I think we learn off of each other. I have friends in this community that don't always agree with me on certain topics, but I'm able to have conversations with them and be able to talk and learn and grow from each other. So I think it's important that it's a well-rounded school committee, that it's a school committee that has differing points of view. And I don't think political affiliations should be at the school committee. As I said in Meet the Candidates, we're one of only 8 communities that allows political affiliation in municipal elections. And so it really shouldn't be an issue.
We're going to take a quick time out. A whole lot more HCAM news ahead. Don't go anywhere. HCAM programming is supported by our viewers, thank you, and by Phipps Insurance Agency, representing companies such as MapFree Insurance. Their family-owned independent agency is deeply rooted in the communities they serve and offer time-tested insurance products to fit individual needs. Since 1950, Phipps Insurance specializes in home, auto, business, condo, and renters insurance. Welcome back to HCAM News. The Hopkinton Hillers entered the 5th week of the spring sports season. Here's a look at the latest highlights. On Wednesday, May 3rd, Hiller girls lacrosse took on Norton. The Hillers took the win 22-11 and improved to 4-6 on the season. Outdoor track also hosted Ashland on Wednesday, May 3rd. Here's a look at the action. Boys and girls outdoor track both improved to 3-0 on the season. The boys took the win 94-41, while the girls won 118-18. The Trail Coordination and Management Committee and the Hopkinton Public Library hosted a Trail Explorers program. HCAM's John Ritz was on the scene.
You're going to go and check out some of the stuff? Cool. Do you like trails?
Hi, John. Hi, HCAM. This is Linda Chuss. I'm with the Trails Committee in town, the TCMC, and we're having this event called the Trail Explorers as an activity to try and get more people using the wonderful trails we have in town. As you can see, there's a lot of kids who have interest. Their parents do too, and we're excited to have everyone here. And thank you for coming to share this information with more people.
So we're from Wildwood, a preschool early learning center in Hopkinton. We run on the grounds of the YMCA. These are some of our kiddos.
We're outside full time all year round. Fun. Do you guys like going to Wildwood?
What are they making?
Right now they're making little fairy houses or forts. So we usually make big forts in the forest.
Come on, right over here. My friend Ash.
Well, John, I'm Steve Frobeater. I'm from the Hopkinton Trails Club. And we're here representing a gift that we're going to be giving the Library of Things next month, which is a child backpack so that families can get out with their small children and be on the trails. So we thought we would bring it, let them see how easy it's going to be to check it out from the Library of Things and use it for a day or a weekend and bring it back.
Cool. What else can the Trails Club do for kids?
Well, we do a monthly trails walk, and we always organize it to where kids and grandparents can keep up. So it's a stroll in the woods led by a leader. It's on Saturday or Sunday. Check our website for what our next trails walk will be, and come out and join us.
Well, we are the Hopkinton Area Land Trust. We manage many hundreds of acres of land in town. There's a map here that shows the open space in town that we manage. And the trails are a lot of fun. And we encourage everyone to get out there as much as possible. And another thing that's on our trails is geocaches. It's a kind of a treasure hunt where you use your phone to look up the coordinates of hidden caches, and the caches can be little tiny things like this, and you open it up and there's your little message inside, and you record that you've been there. And here we have some skulls. This is the pieces of a beaver skull, which we found, I don't know what killed it, lying on the trail. There's a deer skull.
Hi, I'm Amy Harris, and I work for Mass Audubon in the Metro West Hub. And I'm here with my spread of interesting things that people might see on the trails here in Hopkinton and around New England. So we have turkey parts and various types of frogs, which have been singing like crazy recently, different types of nests and how they're made, some with man-made material and other types of natural material. And the turtles, they're going to be laying eggs at the end of the month. So we have their eggs here and a turtle shell and snake skins and maps and all sorts of goodies.
So in Hopkinton, I know there's one sanctuary. Which one is that?
That is Wasika. It's a new sanctuary in our little nest of sanctuaries, and we have trail maps There's only about a mile of trails, and I haven't been there myself yet, but there's a beautiful pond and places that you could go and observe a lot of this wildlife.
It's now time to tell you about some happenings in town you should know about. Screenagers under the influence, addressing vaping, drugs, and alcohol in the digital age. You can catch the presentation at the Hopkinton Center for the Arts on Tuesday, May 16th from 10:30 a.m. until noon. The Hopkinton Garden Club is hosting their annual plant sale on Saturday, May 13th from 8 a.m. until noon. It will take place at the Hopkinton Town Common. For more information, head over to hcam.tv. Our upcoming Hiller sports broadcast schedule includes on Friday, May 11th, Girls Lacrosse takes on Medfield at 4:15 start. For the latest and most updated Hiller sports broadcasting schedule, head over to hcam.tv. We have a couple pictures of the week. The Veterans Breakfast took place at the Senior Center on May 5th. Many military events were discussed during the breakfast. Notice the Hopkinton veteran on guard duty while overlooking the shoulders of the breakfast attendees. He is World War II U.S. Army Sergeant Paul Jackson, Michael McBride. This photo courtesy of Hank Alessia. The Hiller girls lacrosse team got a great win as they topped Medway 14-7. In the victory, senior Jamie Arena earned her 100th career point. Congratulations to Jamie. This terrific photo courtesy of Hiller Athletics on Twitter. Upcoming town government meetings include on Tuesday, May 16th at 7 p.m., the Conservation Commission. And don't forget, Monday, May 15th, 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. at Hopkinton Middle School. It is Town Election Day. Make your voice heard. Be sure to go vote on Monday, May 15th. Believe it or not, we are out of time for this edition of HCAM News, but don't worry, next Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., we'll be back. For everyone here at HCAM, I'm Tom Nappy. As always, thank you for watching. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again soon. Goodbye, everybody.